You sounded less like Seth Rollins and more like Drew McIntyre.
Seth Rollins makes shocking revelation about CM Punk's time away from WWE. He threw a fit when the best in the world returned at Survivor Series, has taken shots his way every chance he's gotten over the last year and change, and even delivered a fantastic promo on the final Raw on the USA Network before the duo got to settle their differences in the ring on the show's Netflix debut. And yet, while discussing his disdain for the best in the world in an appearance on Insight with Chris Van Vliet, Rollins noted that he still reached out to Punk about a return to WWE a few times during his absence, even if the calls ultimately fell on unfriendly ears. I reached out to him a couple of times to try to, engage and just see where he was at and if he was interested in coming back, Rollins revealed via Cultaholic. And nothing, no response, except whenever he would get a chance. He would just talk as much crap as he could. Shocking? Well, considering Rollins has been upset with Punk since he was literally in his wrestling school as a teenager, it's pretty safe to say the only surprising part is that the Visionary even reached out at all, discussing his relationship with Rollins after their match on Raw. CM Punk noted that he was proud of his efforts not because of any individual move he made in the match, but because he got that killer attitude out of his opponent, which is often hidden under silly outfits and witty catchphrases. I'm not going to disparage Seth. At least not his ability. Maybe the way he dresses. I honestly don't think he needs to do all of that. I think Seth Rollins is a killer. When he dresses that way, when he acts a certain way, I don't think he is a killer. So I can honestly say that maybe I don't take him as seriously as he wants me to take him. Punk told reporters via Fightful, the Seth Rollins I faced tonight, the Seth Rollins that was face-to-face with me last week, that's Seth Rollins to me. Not the purple pieman from Porcupine Peak, or whatever he's trying to do. It's funny, but I will bring the best out of you. If you step in the ring with me, if you hold a microphone against me, I will 100% make people say, where was that person this entire time? Where was that Drew McIntyre? Where was that Seth Rollins? It's rare air when I step into the ring. If you don't step up, you can step right on out. Did Punk bring the best out of Rollins? Debatable. Frankly, their match wasn't that great, and it felt more like the start of something bigger, not the end of a grander feud. Still, if this does change Rollins' attitude and makes him take things a little more seriously, who knows, maybe Punk will get the last laugh in the end. Seth Rollins reflects on viral reaction to CM Punk's return, was unhappy because he stole Randy Orton's moment. Seth freakin' Rollins appeared as a guest on the latest installment of the popular Insight with Chris Van Vliet podcast for an in-depth interview covering all things pro wrestling and WWE. During the discussion, the visionary and the revolutionary of WWE reflected on his WrestleMania 40 injury scare, how much pain he was in, CM Punk's WWE return, and his viral reaction to it being largely because he stole Randy Orton's moment, as well as his memorable Money in the Bank cash-in for the heist of the century. At WrestleMania 31, feature below are some of the highlights from the interview sent to us directly by Chris Van Vliet, where the WWE superstar touches on the aforementioned topics at length. On if there were any concerns he wasn't going to make it to WrestleMania 40 due to injury. No, I just didn't know what shape I was going to be in by the time we got to WrestleMania. On how much pain he was in. At that point, the pain wasn't so bad. So the match with Jinder Mahal would have been in January. I had basically really sprained my MCL pretty bad and tore my meniscus. The meniscus tear was an older tear that I think got displaced. So I'd basically been wrestling on a torn meniscus for as long as I can remember, but I had a kind of a mechanism to sort it out. Whenever I kind of dislodged it, it put the meniscus into a different position in my knee. I don't need to get into the anatomy of all that, but basically it was really painful when I would do specific things. So I just had to be smart. So I took, obviously, Rumble off, Chamber off, but then I came back in a brace and I did some live events. I had wrestled solo Sikoa on one of the Mondays leading up to WrestleMania as well. Mostly because I just wanted to get a feel for it. I wanted to know what I could and couldn't do, and I didn't want to wrestle with a brace at WrestleMania because I hate wrestling with a brace. So I wasn't in a ton of pain only because I had gone through the pain the weeks leading up to it, kind of like trial runs. I was like, let me test this out at these live events, and then let me test it out on TV. Let me see what's going to hurt me. Basically like stab, stab, stab. Okay, now I know what not to do. Now I know how to work around it. Then I just had booked the surgery for right after. I knew what the end game was at Mania. I'm like, let's just get through that. I want to help. I think I could be an integral part of this. So let's do that. and then I'll go get it fixed and take a little bit of time on if he thought CM Punk would ever come back to WWE. When he joined the broadcast team on Fox, when they were doing that backstage show, I thought to myself, okay, maybe there's an opportunity here. Then when he joined AEW, I kind of thought maybe he'll have a Twilight run here. But there were then a lot of times where I just thought, because I know he makes it out like he didn't really like the other guy that was in charge, but the truth is he didn't really get along with the current guy that's in charge either. It wasn't like they were pals as well. So I think that even when Triple H took over, I didn't think there would be an olive branch to be had, so kind of 50-50, but I would waver more towards no. I never thought it was going to happen. On if he knew CM Punk was coming back at Survivor Series. No, that was a bit of a surprise. On his viral reaction. What I wasn't happy about was Randy had just come back from a long hiatus. That was his moment. It was a great moment. The reaction for him when he came through the curtain was unreal. We went out there was 10 of us out there. And we went out there and had a hell of a contest. We just didn't really need him, but it was Chicago, it's a city, it's just the most classic make everything about me CM Punk moment I've ever seen. When you're in that moment, your adrenaline just going through the roof. You're on the top of a cage, celebrating with your pals, sold out Allstate Arena, going bananas. Then that happens, and it's no longer about the performance. It's no longer about Randy. It's no longer about what you had done to get to that point. It's just, hi guys, it's about me. Remember I'm the guy that you miss. Remember me, guys? So yeah, just another kind of throw that on the pile of disgusting CM Punk moments. But don't worry, he's not selfish. He's in it for helping everybody else. On his WrestleMania 31 Money in the Bank cash-in. There might be camera footage of this somewhere, but I'm just sitting in this chair right outside of the curtain in Gorilla. This was a smaller Gorilla at the time. We hadn't expanded it to this big one yet. I remember Michael Hayes is in the producer's seat, and Hunter and Vince are on the far side. I want to say there was panic about the time, because we were SD.